Hollywood actor Colin Firth has launched a BBC Lifeline appeal for the charity Action for Stammering Children.
So this looks at the importance of giving people with a stammer time to talk when booking appointments, ordering food or using other services, all sorts of general day-to-day life activities. Let's take a look at the campaign.
Hearing the first words a child speaks can be a memorable experience for families. Speech is fundamental to our existence and our relationship with others. So to imagine something like a stammer snatching that skill away from them can be upsetting and distressing. Playing the role of George VI in the King's Speech showed me not only the challenges of experiencing difficulties with speech, but also the life-changing benefits specialist therapy can bring.
We're joined now, delighted to say, by Phoebe Avbulimen, Thomas Grattoni-May and Jane Roberts, who's the chair of Action for Stammering Children. Good morning to you all. Hi. You two are the people who are going to be able to tell us exactly what it's like to live with a stammer. So, Phoebe, why don't you start? What is it like?
Yeah, so her having a stammer every day is quite different, really. Some days are better than other days, so speech-wise, and then some days are more challenging, really. So yeah, it just depends.
You know, it's really interesting talking to you, Phoebe, and to you as well, Thomas, because I think what lots of people don't understand is when someone has a stammer, you're not sure, you know, being slow thinking. It's just getting the words out, isn't it, in time? And people need to show patience for that. Let you finish your sentence.
Yes. Yeah, so the best advice is to basically just go. It's to go and give us the patience, basically, to go and kind of go. Is to go and is to go and give us the time to go and allow us to go and get the things that we want to say, because it's the kind of the most frustrating thing is when people go and finish our sentences, because we kind of know exactly what we want to say, but we just need a little bit more time to go and say it. Yeah.
Do you know what I would say to both of you, Thomas and Phoebe, is it is glaringly obvious that in certain situations it's presumably worse, stressful situations where people are expecting, and here you are sitting on our sofa, you know, on national television. So respect to both of you, just being here. And I love watching you because it's a lesson to me, Phoebe, you watching Thomas and just waiting, just knowing that Thomas is going to say what he's going to say, but it's in his own time, and it will work. And just have patience. Can you tell us a bit about how this works in practice? Because you're both university, you're a medical student, aren't you? Thomas, you just started at uni. So what, in terms of sort of day-to-day business at university that other people might take for granted, what's that like?
Yeah, so just, you know, like simple things, such as talking to your friends. If you have a funny story you want to tell them, well, then perhaps it can just take a bit longer, that's all. Yeah, yeah, but for the most part, people are patient, like with me. Which I'm really happy about.
Let's talk about the practicalities of this and how this campaign will actually work. Jane, morning to you. Morning. I mean, this is just so important, and this is particularly for stammering children, because there are, and I know, Thomas, you've had stories as well, where, you know, teachers or adults misinterpret the stammer for someone being slower in their thought process, for example, and that once those thoughts start coming in, or those, you know, you're ascribe these characteristics, it can hurt and it can damage development.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no cognitive impact. Children who stammer are no less intelligent than anyone else. The social and emotional impact, however, can be profound. And sometimes in school, teachers don't notice it because sometimes children who stammer might sit at the back of the class and be very reluctant to say anything. And yet we know, actually, that if children and young people have the respect and the confidence that they need, that can have a transformative effect. And we know also that for those young people who do want intervention in the forms of therapy, then the earlier the intervention, the better. So schools play a really important role. Every school will have a number of children and young people who stammer. 8% of children in the UK stammer at some point in their lives. It's not uncommon.
Thomas, you reminded us when you came in, you've been on the sofa before, haven't you, when you were just eight years old?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, when you look back, you know, at your younger self in school and the difficult times you would have had, what do you recollect of that, and how could things be different for, you know, someone 8 years old now?
Yeah, so I had a lot of trouble. I had a lot of trouble. I had a lot of trouble. I had a lot of trouble with bullying. Especially around the time of like just starting secondary school, and I was kind of I was so grateful for the charity's support because I kind of teamed up with my school and the charity, and we did a campaign basically to go and raise awareness of stammering in my school, and we kind of like talked about the misconceptions around like the really annoying false myth about the link between stammering and a lack of intelligence. And then we also talked about the really famous people who stammer, such as Ed Sheeran, Emily Blunt, and even Winston Churchill, for example. I think kind of like it's through the charity, I kind of I've really been able to kind of go and boost my confidence with talking about stammering, and yeah, it's yeah.
Phoebe,
Well, I mean, apart from this, you've helped a lot of people along the way. I mean, that's a great feeling, isn't it?
Phoebe, just you know, someone will be watching today, and I hope we have, you know, done what we should be doing, kind of, and we're learning all the time. Charlie was saying the same thing. Let people speak. You know, don't, just because you have a stammer, don't think that there's something wrong, you know, in the way with what you're thinking. There will be children watching today. You're on this panel, you're on this youth panel now, both of you. There will be children watching today. There will be parents and teachers watching. Just help. How should they think? Treat someone who has a stammer.
Yeah, so firstly, you know, like, stammering is common, you know, like where 1 in every 100 people stammer, and it is actually more common in children too. Personally speaking, I would just say to actually ask the person who stammers how best can I actually help you, because everyone is different. Everyone's stammer is different too. Yeah, And so just ask them, like, how best can I help you?
Makes a terrific amount of sense. I'm going to apologise to you, Jane, because we've chatted with these guys much more than we have to you, and we are out of time now.
And that's just as it should be. That's just as it should be.
Absolutely.
I was kind of going to say that, but it sounded a bit rude. Thank you, Jane.
It's fine.
And to you guys as well. I'm thinking, Thomas, what are you going to do? Come back in another 10 years or something? You can update us when you've got your physics degree,
yeah.
Medical degree.
Medical, brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the studies as well. Best times. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
8:36. We will be back shortly.